Hi guys, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. If you're enjoying this series, please do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. In the last episode, we built a rocket that could get us into orbit, but then realised that we had no way of getting back. So in this episode, we go through a bit of trial and error to build a rocket that can get us up there and get us back down safely with our science experiments. You're about to hear a bit of an odd transition because it was recorded in one piece and split, but let's get on with the episode. I need to keep something back to be able to actually get myself. Let's put like a tank on, and let's put the small engine on. I need something that's going to be able to get me back down to Earth. Like, there's no way to return. So yeah, return trips are important. That's what we've learned from that. So we're slightly heavy, that's the issue now. And obviously I've still got to get up into orbit with the same amount of stuff. So I suppose I could remove that. No, that's not going to work. I could remove that, take that out, put a smaller fuel tank in. So put one of those in like that. Stick that back on there. Has that got a decoupler? Yeah, it's got a decoupler after the engine. I did put the small engine in, didn't I? Yeah, the Reliant liquid fuel engine. So that's the other option. Let's try it. I'm a little bit concerned that with the extra weight, that's not going to be enough to actually push me up into orbit, but I suppose we'll just have to hope that it's enough, because obviously we've got a load of extra weight for it to push up now. It's just that return trip, that's what's going to get me. Okay, right. Well, let's launch and see. Let's launch and see how we get on. I just realised that I messed up the decoupler, the staging a little bit, so that obviously needs to come up to here. See if we can do a little bit better this time. Okay, that is a decent piss. Okay, so I'm not 100% pleased with it, but we may as well try it out. Let's wait till we get to our point that we want to get to, which is just there. I'll slow it down just before we hit it. We'll rearrange our heading, obviously, so we're in retrograde, prograde even, and now we're here. We'll hit that full blast for as long as we can, and we'll see if it's enough to put us into an orbit. I don't think it's going to be. That's the problem here. No, that was nowhere near enough to do it, so we're gonna have to revert the flight again. Okay, so slightly new design, which is a bit more expensive, but hopefully will provide more thrust in the initial phase. Is I've used 2 liquid engines with 2 fuel tanks on each side as our first stage. Should burn longer, should get us higher, but we're going to have to see how it works. It's a bit of a weird experiment. Okay, ready for a launch. Those need to be turned up. Okay, that is spinning out of control, and that's going to be because we haven't got fins on. Right, okay, revert flight before anything bad happens. Okay. Okay, going to speed this up until we're running relatively low on fuel, just so we can see how we're doing. We're making some good altitude. Okay, let's slow that down. In fact, let's cut the engine and check out the map. So we've got a relatively wide arc going on, but whether that's enough, let's just try it out quickly. Yeah, it didn't really get me anywhere near. Okay, got another design here now. It's a longer rocket, more fuel, less boosters at the side, but just an extra bit to get it off the ground, and we'll see how we do with this. We should be able to leave the throttle relatively low and see how we do. Okay, slightly different design again. It was looking like having that extra engine at the top was just hauling extra weight up for no reason. So we're going to go 1 rocket to get into orbit and take us out of orbit, and then when we get out of orbit we'll disconnect and lose the rest of it. That's the plan, at least. So we'll see how it works out. These 3 boosters are going to go off at the same time, and these are going to get disconnected when we get to a certain height. At least that's the plan. Okay, let's turn on our auto. We've already sorted the stage now. I'm trying to get into good habits with that. Let's increase our throttle slightly and launch. Okay. Okay, so we've cut our engines now, and we're gonna use the map to float up to the top of our arc here, and then use that to widen our orbit, and hopefully have enough fuel left afterwards to close the orbit back down. So that's the plan. Right, let's speed things up to get to where we need to be going to, which is just up there. Okay, so we're getting there now. Let's slow that down. Let's take it off map mode this time, and let's get our ship aligned so we're in prograde. That's the plan, to expand our orbit. Okay, and let's start burning our thrusters now. Need to get that aligned nicely like that. Okay, let's give that a bit more throttle. Okay, we'll increase that. We need to make sure that we maintain enough fuel to actually have a chance of getting back out of orbit, if we do ever get into it, that is. Okay, so that is expanding, but it's just whether it does it quick enough for us to be able to actually make use of it. Okay, and that's an orbit. Cut the engines. Right, we've got a tiny amount of fuel left, and hopefully that'll be enough to put us back out of orbit if we need to. Right, so now we're actually in orbit. Let's muck about with some science experiments, shall we? So we've got mystery goo we can observe, and we can keep that experiment. We can do the same on this side, and we can keep that. We've got a barometer. We can log pressure data, keep that, and we can log temperature and keep that. We can do a crew report and keep that, and then we can... Are we in a stable orbit still? Yeah, we're in a completely stable orbit. That's great. We can do an EVA. Okay, and now we've got the EVA, we can collect data. Oh right, removing data will render it inoperable. Okay, so there's not a heck of a lot of point of doing that. Can we collect data from these things? I don't think that no, I don't think she can get to them, unfortunately. So I think we can take data from the hatch though. Store experiments, take data, store experiments. Crew reports. Can we do another crew report now? No, but we can do an EVA report. We can keep that. Store experiments. We can do another EVA report. Store experiments. So we can do like a few EVA reports and store them. EVA report's already stored, so I don't think we can keep doing it. And then we can board, and can we do... Oh, we can't store them. Okay, never mind. So we've kind of lost that stuff. But there you go. Can we do another crew report? Yeah, I think that's pretty much all we can do. So, what we want to do now is point our vessel towards retrograde, which will diminish our orbit. Basically, that's what's going to happen. Right. There it is. Okay. Looks like we've actually lost a bit of even more fuel. I don't think I'm going to be able to actually get out of this orbit. That's the problem. But we're on retrograde, so let's hit full blast on the engines. Oh yeah, that has actually taken our orbit off straight away. Okay, brilliant. So we're definitely going to re-enter now. It's just whether we can survive it or not. Okay. Right, so let's dump the rest of our spacecraft. Okay, and let's face prograde. That way, when we re-enter, we're going to re-enter like backwards, if you get what I mean. I think that's how it's going to work anyway. Oh no, it's the other way. We want it to be facing retrograde. So we want to face like that, and that way we're going to re-enter with our heat shield facing the direction that we actually enter. So that's going to help us a lot. So if we speed up now, we can go 4 times at least. Oh, yeah, stuff's happening very quickly when you've got it on there. Let's have a quick mess with the parachute as well. Altitude 1000, that should be fine. Oh, I want to slow that down because... Okay, so we're re-entering the atmosphere now. And like I say, we've got our heat shield facing the way we go in. So it should be taking the brunt of all the heat as we re-enter. Okay, I'm speeding that up to 4 times. Re-entering very quick. We're not having any problems with heat yet. And we didn't have any of our science modules blow off either. And I think we're pretty much through the thick of it. We're at 100 and so meters. So we should be able to activate our parachute for it to go off as and when we need it. Whoa! Okay, I think that was 1,000 feet above sea level. Revert flight. I'll make this happen again. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that it's like 1,000 meters above sea level and we like landed in like a mountain range or something like that. So I'm going to set the parachute to go off at a much higher level. Just so we know that we're not going to crash land. Right, I'm going to go and get us back to that point again. I won't put you through it, but I'll get back to the point where we've gone and we've got all our experiments who come into a land. So let's go. Okay, so we've been up and done exactly the same thing we did before, and we're on re-entry now. It seems to be going okay again. It's just going to be how well this landing happens. Hopefully we're not landing in any mountain ranges. I've set the parachute deployment at 3,000 meters, so I'm hoping that'll be more than enough. Parachute's allowed to deploy now. We're at 100,000 feet, falling very quickly, so hopefully we get deployment. Yeah, we did. Okay, that should be fine now. I can't see why there'd be any issues, and everything survived. We are out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, we're coming up to landing now. There we go. So yeah, that was the problem. We are like what, 469 meters above sea level, so we're obviously up on some kind of hills or something like that. Okay, so what we can do now is potentially, if we do an EVA, okay, and a crew report. No, we can't do that, but we could do... Can we store... I think we did an EVA report, didn't we, though? That's the thing. Okay, so space is going to be let go. Plant flag, we can do that. I don't know if that's going to do us any good, but... EVA report... keep the experiment. I don't know if we just actually overwrote something there. F grabs... B we can board, and then we can recover the vessel. Okay, so we should now get our report about that flight and how we did. Hopefully it's given us some decent stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. So the crew report, EVA report. Did it give us 2? No, it only gave us the 1 EVA report, but that was from space. And we did another EVA report, so I don't know exactly how that worked in terms of storing it. But in total, we got 123 science from that one mission, which is really good. And we made 304,000 from it. Interesting. Not sure how we made that money. I guess we got paid for some of the stuff. Not quite sure how that works, but there you go. Right, reputation as well. So... we could upgrade this, but that's going to leave us with barely any money to build spacecraft with. We definitely want to go do our research and development now, so we can unlock some more of these things. We've got 123 available. What we're going to do is call that an end of the episode and look at this at the start of the next one. Guys, if you're enjoying this series, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way I'll definitely keep making more episodes of this series. I'm enjoying it. I hope you are too, so leave a like. Thanks for watching. Peace.